settled me as well, because it takes away from the carer or the carers, i.e. myself, my family. It takes away from those people the responsibility of having to remember things like tablets, injection, because Beth was getting an injection every day from the beginning of last year, which I was administering. But it's just the fact that I was able to go to bed as well and go to sleep knowing that I hadn't got one ear cocked listening for Beth in case she needed me in the night with these SVTs, because they were becoming extremely frequent, and as you can imagine, the frequency of them, and they're an awful thing. And but as I say, she never had another one in the 9 weeks that she was in, because she felt so comfortable and so relaxed. And obviously that was down to the care that she was getting. To be honest with you, I don't think anybody has got the vocabulary to describe what this place is like with the staff. And I don't just mean the nursing staff, and I'm not being derogatory now. I'm talking about from the staff, the volunteers, the cleaning staff, right through to the most senior doctor or specialist that works here. I once said to Beth, I said, you know what? I said, I reckon that they must have a massive screening programme for job interviews for people that actually come and work here, because everyone is the same. They're so wonderful, they're so caring, they're full of compassion, and they understand what you're going through. And they really do understand what you're going through. And it's just, they are so helpful, not just to the patient, which obviously is their primary concern, but they're so helpful to the family. They have all the time in the world to sit you down and talk to you about what your concerns are, what your worries are. Also, they will sit and talk to you, if you want them to, about what time may or may not be left to your loved one. And that can also be extremely helpful, because it's preparing you for what is eventually going to happen. And they're just wonderful people.
If the hospice wasn't here during that period, what do you think you and Beth would have done?
I don't know. Quite honestly, I don't know. Obviously, Beth would have been at home probably until it became so critical that I couldn't nurse her at home, that she had to go into hospital. And having now experienced the hospice as opposed to the hospital, and I'm not knocking the NHS or the staff, we know they've got massive problems. I wouldn't have liked to have thought of Beth's last 9 weeks of her life in a hospital as opposed to the hospice. If you're going to have to spend the last 9 weeks of your life anywhere, you want it to be in a place like the hospice and the staff that work there. When she was having the SVTs at home, she was extremely concerned, and rightly so. I mean, one of the things that must have crossed Beth's mind, although she never admitted to it, despite my asking her several times, was if she was having an SVT and it got to the point where she knew one was coming on, probably 10-15 minutes before it did. So I was able to get on the phone and get the ambulance there. And the strange thing about it was always in the early hours of the morning. Not in the day, it was always the early hours of the morning, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And clearly, if you've got a condition like that, you must be thinking, is the ambulance going to get here in time for me? Are they going to get me there in time? You know, to have this injection to drop the heart rate. Whereas in here, she was so relaxed because of the professionals that were around her. And she knew that if she did have one, it was there. The people were there to deal with her. But she never had one, which is testament to how comfortable and how relaxed and how she felt in her environment, the care she was getting. The people of Rotherham and surrounding area don't realise what they've got here. And I include myself in that prior to actually needing the hospice. And I would say to everyone that's in the Rotherham and Rotherham area that this hospice should be supported to the hilt, because hopefully thousands and thousands of people that live in Rotherham won't need it. But my God, if you do, there is no better place.